38 million. That's the number of American households who live paycheck to paycheck, and the average bank account balance lingers around $4,500.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're standing by for
Statistically speaking, Americans are not saving as much as they should. And just like income inequality, savings inequality is a real problem. Almost 50% of all Americans would struggle to come up with $500 to cover an unexpected expense. But why is that? Maybe partially because the topic of money can seem intimidating, complicated, and overwhelming. But it really should not be that way. I'm going to meet with one Washington family.
All right, and we're safe.
Go through their finances, explore their options, and discover ways to get them on a path to financial security with the help of Numerica Credit Union. And to make the whole thing more fun, we'll add a little bit of booze.
This is the Steel Barrel Tap Room.
By the way, I'm Natali Morris, a financial expert, and this is the balancing act, Big Dream Money Makeover.
I spent all summer looking for the perfect bedspread for my dorm room, and then I'm just like putting on the finishing touches, and Cameron is wandering the halls, kind of checking out, seeing who's around, and he comes in and sits right on my bed without asking.
It was a very comfortable bed to sit on, and I needed an excuse to get into the room to say hi. And I knew she would probably be off the market pretty soon.
Being older, Cameron graduated first and started his master's program in architecture in Spokane, Washington. Then they got married in the summer of 2010.
That was a big year for me. Turned 21, graduated, got married, all in one summer.
Yep.
Living on a shoestring budget, saving as much as they could, and with a little bit of family help, Cameron and Erica were able to make an offer on a house just outside of downtown Spokane.
This house came on the market, and her parents threatened that if we didn't make an offer, they were going to. As much as I love them, I don't know if I could have them living that close to me all the time, so we had to snatch it first.
They were just joking.
After finishing his master's program, Cameron started working as an architect for a local Spokane firm. His passion for brewing pulled him towards an opportunity he could not pass up.
I started homebrewing when I was in grad school, and then a local real estate developer approached me with this concept of opening an incubator brewery in an attached tap room. And it was too good of an opportunity to pass up. He was willing to finance the whole thing.
Not long after Cameron quit the architecture business, Erica gave birth to their first child, Daphne.
Then we're eagerly expecting baby number 2. Sense of anticipation is really different compared to the first time where I had that optimism. We're like, just quit your job, let's tear down the kitchen, everything's gonna be great. Everything's gonna be fine, we're having a baby. And this time it's like, we're having a baby. How is this gonna work?
One child, another on the way, and an uncertain career ahead. What does all this mean for their future? And how can they make it work financially now so they don't have to struggle later? I'm on my way to meet the Johnsons, and together we will come up with a plan of action to set the course on a path to financial freedom.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm Natali. Nice to meet you.
Nice
I'm Erica.
to meet you.
Come on
Thank
in.
you for having me. I'm excited to see how we can really help Cameron and Erica, because I feel like they almost don't even know what transition they're in right now.
The new business has still only been in operation for 10 months, new baby on the way, and it was a good time to sit down and take a look at things, what we need to be saving for specifically, and where money would be best allocated.
On the spectrum of people who take their statements when they come in the mail and don't even open the envelope and just file them away in a shoebox, and people who then go through their statements with a fine-tooth comb, where are you as a family and as an entrepreneur?
On the personal side of things, I think we tend to be somewhere in the middle. On the business side of things, I'm definitely more diligent about going through every expense.
Natali was asking us questions about how we feel about our finances and where we stand with our finances, where we'd like to be. And so it was helpful to kind of get our situation framed up with her so that we can move forward and see what ideas she has for us.
And a lot of time running a family is like running a business. So are you able to communicate well about finances?
It has been difficult lately because our schedules are so different.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Part of this opportunity is almost just setting aside the time for us to figure it out together.
I think it's very helpful simply to have somebody here forcing us to talk about it, because sometimes you just, it's out of sight, out of mind.
Do you feel like you are proactive about your vision of where you want your family to be financially?
I think we could always be better. I think we probably have a vision of where we would like to be, but I don't think we really have a good set of goals or a solid plan for getting there.
The biggest cost looming over us with the new baby will be 2 kids in daycare. Right now, looking at those costs, it's actually just out of our reach.
For Cameron, having an understanding and supportive wife has been a true blessing. Without Erica, he could never have pursued his dream of opening his own brewery.
Originally, he kind of eased me into it because originally it was this don't quit your day job kind of model where
That's
he was
how
gonna...
we conceptualized it.
Yeah, and so I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. Sounds like everything will be the same for me, I just won't ever see you. Okay, great.
What does financial freedom look like for you?
Having to check the bank account continually during those times when bills are coming out to make sure there's enough in there. The financial freedom portion of that, I'd say, would just be knowing that our income is always greater than our expenses.
That's how it was when we were double income, no kids.
Right.
We didn't worry about it. And so when I think about financial freedom, I'm either looking back to that or I'm looking forward to retirement, someday. Right. I think we have a lot left to talk about with the nitty gritty, kind of crunching the numbers and playing with some ideas.
All of this financial talk has gotten me pretty thirsty.
Well, I'm really excited to see the brewery. Would you mind taking me there?
Of course.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Coming up, Cameron takes me on an insider tour of how a profit-sharing brewery is run. And of course, I get to taste some beer along the way. Half of all Americans would have a tough time coming up with $500 to cover an emergency. Yet the typical emergency costs more than $2,000. Healthcare and auto repairs top the list of most common unplanned expenses.
All right, so here we are.
Oh, look at this.
So this is the Steel Barrel Tap Room.
3 LLCs call this unique space home. Cameron runs his incubator brewery out of the back. He's partnered with 2 others on the Steel Barrel Tap Room from where they serve their beer. And he sublets the kitchen space to Chef Chad White.
So we've got 4 taps on right now from Young Buck Brewing. We've got a pale ale, a Gosa, which is a very old tart German wheat beer, a black IPA, and then a West Coast style IPA. Essentially, back here we have a shared space and a shared brew house, and then we have multiple separately licensed breweries.
So this is your LLC, right?
Correct.
Is Young Buck, and then Little Spokane is another LLC.
Right, yeah.
How does that work together?
So we have 2 of us back in the incubator right now, both separately licensed breweries. And then up front in the tap room here, we're another LLC for just the tap room operation.
And so you guys are collaborators, you're not really competitors.
Right, yeah, and that's true for the majority of the brewing industry.
So you also serve food here then?
Yeah, we do. We partnered with Chef Chad White in his kitchen here as his Zona Blanca, his ceviche bar.
I own the business Zona Blanca, however I lease the space from the Steel Barrel Tap Room. I have this small space where a counter service ceviche restaurant, people come in, they place their order, they take a number and they go sit down. But where it's unique for us is that we share the dining room in which the Steel Barrel Tap Room has their bar. We fill people's bellies, they want to keep drinking, and it works out really well. Cameron is a leader in his field in the beer. He's very creative. I'm a very creative individual. So there's a lot of kind of, back and forth that we slapstick ideas off of each other.
So Himalayan pink salt, crushed coriander, only 3.5% ABV, soured with Lacto plantarum.
This is just a perfect kind of like, I don't know, a well-balancing drink. Kind of like refreshes the palate for the next bite.
And so back there, I see that's your brewing equipment.
Yep, that's the brew house back there.
Okay, so how is your rent shared and the revenue shared inside the tap room?
Since the landlord took on all the initial financial risk and invested all the startup capital to build out the space, what we have with him in the tap room is a profit sharing agreement. Our monthly owner draw from the tap room is $750 each, and then we get paid $11 an hour. Usually taking home about $1,600 a month from the tap room. The reason I jumped into this was because it was the only way I could get into professional brewing without taking out a large loan by myself. And there was no way I was going to jump into that with our current financial situation. All right, so we have IPA, dry hop twice during ferment with a blend of 3 different Northwest hops. A black IPA fermented on hops as well as baker's chocolate.
It seems like he has really done his homework to execute this business. You can see really like so much passion. And you know, the saying is that profit follows passion. Well, thank you for showing me all of this. This
Absolutely.
is so amazing. I really hope all your dreams come true.
Yeah.
You guys just blow up.
Thank you for your help.
After the break, Cameron and Erica undergo a consultation that could save them thousands of dollars in the long term. Don't miss it. It could work for you too. Only 1 in 7 Americans say they are very confident that they will have enough money for retirement. In fact, 30% of workers say they have less than $1,000 in savings and investments.
This morning I'm going to pick up Cameron and Erica, and then we'll drive over to Numerica. Good morning.
Morning.
How is everybody today?
Good.
How are you feeling? I'm anxious to see what kind of plan that we can set up for them. What kind of savings can they start to accrue, and how can they maybe change some habits?
Nearly 130,000 people from the Northwest bring their realities, hopes, and dreams to Numerica. Luckily, Cameron and Erica already have a relationship with this credit union. We're meeting Jake Crummel,
That was well done.
who is here to go over some valuable financial information and options that can make a huge impact on this young family's future.
Tell me about what you guys have already talked about at this point. Enlighten me a little bit so we can have some good discussion on it.
So our family's kind of at a pivot point here because we got baby number 2 on the way.
Ooh,
And that's bringing on new
congratulations.
concerns, throwing new light on our financial challenges.
And with the business still being relatively new, we've only been open 10 months now, intertwining those business and personal finances. Could use some advice there for future planning. And
I kind of just want to get a feel, what are you guys putting aside right now in savings on a monthly basis?
Back when I worked only 2 part-time jobs, I did open a Roth IRA. So we do have $100 a month that gets put into that account. Through my work, I have retirement benefits. And so those things are all kind of happening automatically in the background. You know, kind of actively, we're doing nothing.
Erica has a Roth IRA, which is a tax-protected retirement account for anyone who has income. And these types of accounts were set up by the government to help people who didn't have access to a 401k have a similar investment plan.
Numerica actually has a bonus saver account. You put $25 in per month at least. You can do it automatically, you can do it just on your own. And you do that for 6 months, you'll automatically get 1.5%.
It sounds really good because my hesitation in entering anything like that would be restrictions, and there basically aren't any as long as you're always contributing $25 or more, and so you can take out your money when you need it.
But there's also another kick to that account too, which is actually fantastic. So if you don't take any money out of it for 6 months, you actually get another 1.5%. So your actual total annual percentage yield will be 3.1% on the money in that account, up to $2,500. The reason why that account is important, especially for folks who are trying to establish a routine and a habit of saving, it's not just plop $2,500 in there and walk away and then come and withdraw it later. You have to build those habits.
Well, planning for the future, it's never too early to start. And especially now, if we can get a handle on this planning before baby number 2 even comes, then we can start working towards saving not only for ourselves, but for the kids' future, for education and whatever other expenses come up there.
Have you guys tried using the option through Numerica through online banking? Because you can categorize your expenses.
We could do that during our weekly schedule planning meeting.
And they looked at each other like, what? And you could tell they had discussed this thing.
You're setting up some automated accounts where you've got, gosh, I've got that savings bill I have to pay. It's $75, doggone it, but it has to go out and it has to be paid.
More than just looking at current numbers, he's helping us develop a plan for saving and managing income versus expenses.
What about debt? You don't have credit card debt. That's amazing. That's another thing you should pat yourself on the back for. But your cars are financed.
Correct.
So let's talk about those products.
Yeah, between the 2 vehicles, that's about $300 per month.
It looks like one of the vehicles is at 3.49 and the other one is at 2.99.
To me, my perception of credit unions is that car loans is kind of like their historic bread and butter and those low rates that they're known for on car loans.
The 2.99% rate and the 3.49% rate are rates that we can beat. You guys have a full relationship with us, which is another thing sometimes I don't think us as Americans consider. If you have a great relationship with your bank, with your credit union, financial institution, if you will, you get relationship rates. Having a great relationship with your banker is a lot like having a great relationship with your doctor, I've heard, with your attorney and with your accountant. I'm able to take a look at their situation and come up with a very viable, hopefully great plan for them that will help them out. With a relationship rate, you guys on a 36-month term, you can get your rate as low as 2.24 on both of those loans.
They had some fairly low interest car loans, but he thinks he can do a little bit better.
It looked like on one of the vehicles that you had a balance of about $5,945, and the other vehicle about $5,745. The 2 projections that I ran, one is on a 48-month term and one's on a 36-month term. The 48-month term has a rate of 2.49 annual percentage rate, and the 36-month term has a rate at 2.24%.
Which car loans will Cameron and Erica choose? Are they going to open a bonus saver account?
So, what do you think?
Answers and more when we come back.
Most likely going to recommend that we do the 48-month term because it's going to keep for lower monthlies. It's going to keep one of your payments right at the same, and then it's actually going to drop your other loan payment down each month.
So Jake is proposing this idea of extending the car loans for a little bit longer duration and then putting them under a lower percentage rate loan so that we can save a little bit each month on the car payments.
Say, for example, the 48-month term is alluring. You like that. You like being able to save $35 a month while still having a lower rate. A nice, easy transition for you guys would be to take that $35 and put that into the bonus saver account that we talked about as well. In this case, great opportunity to save them money on their interest rates. I was really pumped to see that we had an opportunity to save them some money there. Something we didn't really get into too much detail about was our home equity products. Mm-hmm. We had talked about those unforeseen emergency contingent expenses that could come up around the corner. Unfortunately, that happens in life, and it happens often.
So the equity-based line of credit that Jake is telling us about is an attractive opportunity to manage debt and balance income versus expenses.
So you guys, we went ahead and signed the auto loan refinances on that, so it's going to save you a little bit of money each month. And then we also opened up the bonus saver account here. And I've got a little statement there. At the bottom there, it'll tell you what your account balance is. Does that look right?
Well, we haven't put anything in yet, so I don't really understand.
Numerica is giving us $2,500 worth of money to jumpstart these savings accounts and to help us with monthly expenses and help with planning for future savings. I'm very excited.
And at Numerica, we're all about enhancing lives and hopefully fulfilling dreams. And this is a great kickstart to that.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's quite the kickstart. Yeah.
Hopefully that helps with going down that path to financial freedom.
That's so nice of them to offer them this little nest egg for their growing family. I was really moved by that.
Finances are passed down from generation to generation, yet it still seems to be a taboo subject.
It's never too early to start, it's never too late to start. Go in, open an account, have a conversation, ask questions. We want to work for you and help your money grow.
A relationship with a trusted financial expert is crucial. The difference between financial stability and living paycheck to paycheck depends on how you approach your own unique fiscal circumstances. Don't procrastinate when it comes to money. We suggest you start stashing away now and look for creative ways to maximize your savings.